Hi guys, welcome to our daily encounter. Of all the bad things that could be said about the church at Corinth, one of the positive things about this church was the fact that they were very gifted. As a matter of fact, that's one of the things that the Apostle Paul commends them for in chapter 1, was the fact that they were not lacking in any gift. And they definitely had many spiritual gifts and were exercising those gifts when they came together to worship. However, these gifts were causing them to start thinking more highly of some than others, especially the ones who could speak in tongues. They saw that as the gift of all gifts, and they thought that was the gift that really showed that a person was spiritual and things like that. And they elevated the gift of tongues above all the rest of the gifts. And the Apostle Paul spends some time from chapter 12 through 14, kind of dispelling that idea and showing them that all the gifts are important. But even after showing them that all the gifts are important, the Apostle Paul concludes chapter 12 by saying, "And yet I will show you a more excellent way." And as you get into chapter 13, you get to that famous chapter that's oftentimes read at weddings and other places, this chapter that's about love. And the excellent way that the Apostle Paul is pointing them towards is the way of love. And he concludes this chapter by saying that, all these gifts that you all are priding yourselves in will one day be done away with, but love will still remain. And so he's encouraging them to value love as much as they value the gifts, if not more than they value the gifts. And as we think about this, as we go to church today, it might very well be the case that we might fall into the same trap that the church at Corinth did when it comes to gifts. As we go to church, we're probably going to come into contact with some pretty gifted people. Perhaps we're going to hear someone who can expound on the word in a very wonderful way and able to really share the scriptures in a way that's understandable, but also in a way that is very moving and things like that. Or we might be sitting next to people who can sing very well and very talented and gifted in the way that they're able to use their voice and singing. Maybe we'll hear someone who's really gifted in offering up beautiful prayers and being able to really move the spirit of the church through the wonderful prayer that they offer. It could be a lot of different things and a lot of different gifts that might be exercised. And we might think, well, that's where it's at. Those who can do those sorts of things, they're the most spiritual. They're the ones who are most close to God. They're the ones that are the most effective in the church. And we begin perhaps to think that they are a part of an elite class within the local church. But according to the Apostle Paul, it's not so much the people who can speak well, pray well, or sing well that matter in the church. It's those who love well. It's those who have a heart just beaming with love. The people who have the type of love that's described here, a love that is patient and kind and not jealous, that does not brag and is not puffed up. Sometimes the gifts leads people actually to brag and be puffed up. It does not act unbecomingly, does not seek its own, is not provoked, does not take into account a wrong suffered. It does not rejoice in unrighteousness, but rejoices in the truth. It bears all things, believes all things, hopes all things, endures all things. Those who have their heart beaming with this type of love, they're the ones that are truly valuable in the church. Not to belittle the gifts, just as the Apostle Paul wouldn't want to diminish the use of gifts in the church, but only to elevate love, to say that this is something that not only should the gifted have, but all the church should have. Every heart, every soul in the church should have their hearts full of this love that the Apostle Paul is speaking about. And if we can go to church with our hearts filled with this type of love, then we have something to contribute. Even if we're not leading beautiful songs or leading beautiful prayers or giving a wonderful sermon, if we have our heart full of love, we are adding something very valuable to what's going on in the church service. So I'd encourage all of us to go to church today with your heart just overflowing with love, just saturated with appreciation for the love that God has demonstrated us, but then also exemplifying that in the kind words that we speak, the encouraging words that we speak, the kind way that we interact with others, the helping hand that we might offer to those who need help, whatever it might be. Let's demonstrate love today. And in doing so, we'll make a great contribution to the church. So these are some things we can reflect on and think about as we do our reading today. With that, guys, I do thank you for watching the video today. Hope you guys have a great day. Love you guys. God bless.